Hello, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. Tomorrow, they say, belongs to the people who prepare for it today. And oftentimes, those who make remarkable impact in their endeavors pay attention to little and unusual details. Yes, these qualities are evident in the attitude and resilience of Nigerians. Their stories are worth sharing. Then every nation globally, the World Health Organization says, is affected by at least one or more forms of malnutrition. Combating this problem in all its forms is one of the greatest global health challenges. We are therefore highlighting the impact of an intervention in a community with malnourished children. Then the mystery behind two untimely and painful deaths, which mirror harsh realities of life, would baffle anyone, including age-long myth that transcends generations. Our lineup is loaded with impact and interesting reports. Let's take the news first. Claire Adelabu Abdurazak will take it from Abuja. Hello, Claire.
Jenny, those colors look good on you. Good evening and welcome to the news from Abuja. Farinruwa Dam, a multi-purpose water project in Nasarawa State, is set to start realizing its immense potential, and that's how the federal government flags off construction works for its completion after suffering neglect since 2007. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, says President Muhammadu Buhari's administration pride is the provision of needed infrastructure that will better lives of Nigerians and guarantee socio-economic development. Musbah Olushaye Adeagbo tells us more.
Our Health Dam, located in Kwara, Wamba local government area of Nasarawa State, was initiated in 2003 with the 50 megawatts hydropower capacity. That potential was yet to be realized before paucity of funds set in. However, hope was lifted as the federal government, upon the request of the state, took over the project 2 years ago. With the approval of President Buhari, the project is set not only to realize its potential, but also additional components of a 73 million cubic meters water storage capacity.
But the Buhari administration has done much more with less resources than any government in our recent history in the provision of infrastructure.
Every time you go to Mr. President with something that is meaningful, that will have an impact in the lives of the people, the President will come straight away and do it, and we are forever grateful to Muhammadu Buhari for this.
We sincerely thank you, because I'm a living witness when we requested for the federal government to lend its helping hand for the realization of this project.
They apparently spoke the minds of the joyous residents of the state, including farmers like Azan Usman, a university graduate and father of two, who has been longing to tap into the irrigation potential of the project. Olushaye Adeagbo, NTA News.
And the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the ruling All Progressives Congress has impacted positively on the lives of Nigerians through various government policies and projects. He was speaking at the presentation of an 80-page compendium by the APC in Adamawa on various achievements recorded in the last 2 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Simon Asha reports.
The next level agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari is a deliberate attempt by the presidency to ensure that the dividends of democracy is further enhanced in the nooks and crannies of the country. Adamawa State is not left out in this regard, as various interventions have been put in place to empower and lift the people of the state to greater heights. In view of this, the All Progressive Congress, in an 80-page compendium, brought to the fore the laudable achievements of the federal government in the state.
So we are celebrating what our leaders at the national level are doing for the progress of Adamawa State.
The special guest of honor on the occasion, Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented by the member representing Ganye, Jada, Tongo, and Mai Bolwa at the National Assembly, Abdulrazak Namdas, says The federal government will continue to provide the desired change needed in the country.
So I think in terms of infrastructure, the president has done quite well. In terms of fighting corruption, he has also done his best. But at least in this area, more needs to be done, and he's doing his own part. And I can tell you that the president is steering the ship in the right direction.
Various achievements of political office holders under the APC in Adamawa State were also showcased. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
And over 1,000 youth and women in Gamawa and Zaki local government areas of Bauchi State have received vocational kits and cash in the pilot phase of the Kaura Economic Empowerment Program, KEEP. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the flag off of the empowerment program was in honor of late Chief MKO Abiola, whom Governor Bala Mohammed described as Nigeria's best Democrat and politician.
This distribution of materials and cash signals the commencement of the Kaura Economic Empowerment Program across Bauchi State. With Gamawa and Zaki as the pilot LGS, the program is mainly in the areas of comparative advantage, where over 10,000 persons are expected to be engaged in the areas of knitting, hairdressing, catering, animal husbandry, cobbling, and the making of the plaster of Paris, POP.
We remember today is Democracy Day, and we decided to do it on that day because the person for whom we are celebrating, Chief Moshood Abiola, has submitted or provided us with a lot of empowerment in this country, across the board, without consideration to sentiment.
So far, the state government has set aside 75 million naira for the empowerment program in each of the 20 local government areas of the state. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
And more than 10 people have been kidnapped by unknown gunmen in Kofa Gayan Zaria city community. Mudashir Ali reports that eyewitness says gunmen came in large number, attacked the area and abducted the people from 3 houses. He says that about eight men were abducted from the same house, and kidnappers have established contacts demanding for ransom. The members of the community appeal to government to sustain work towards bringing lasting solution to the incessant attacks by the kidnappers. And the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency has arrested an Uber driver with cocaine at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. In a statement signed by the Director of Media and Publicity of the agency, Femi Babafemi, says the suspect was arrested with 150 grams of cocaine concealed inside 2 pieces of air fresheners at the Sako export shed of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, on Tuesday, the 8th of June, 2021, when he brought the consignment from his client for export to Malabo in Equatorial Guinea. In another related development, another male suspect was arrested on Friday, the 11th of June, on Qatar Airlines from Gru in Brazil at the arrival hall of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, also in Lagos, with 9 wraps of cocaine weighed 300 grams in his pants. Other suspects are 2 drug peddlers with cocaine and 3.032 kilograms of cannabis sativa. Now, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Amwal Gambo, and his Ghanaian counterpart, Rear Admiral Issa Adams Yakubu, are charting a new course in maritime security, which is expected to leverage the integrated national security and waterways protection infrastructure, that's the Deep Blue project, to patrol non-piracy hub, the Gulf of Guinea, and other insecure areas of the maritime domain. Our defense correspondent, Najato Tijani, will tell us more in this report.
With the launch of the $195 million Deep Blue project, it's likely that pirates will operate further offshore in unpatrolled waters, making this collaboration between the Nigerian Navy and the Ghana Navy all the more necessary and even more strategic.
The threat posed by the activities of these criminal elements constitutes a major challenge not only to the littoral states, but equally undermines regional development.
So we are proposing that we have a collective naval operation. We can have a task force, ECOWAS Naval Task Force, under the umbrella of the ECOWAS Integrated Maritime Strategy.
Piracy remains one of the foremost security challenges in the Gulf of Guinea, and stakeholders, including the maritime agencies and port authorities of both countries, are expected to brainstorm on strategies to intercept piracy and other crimes in the region. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
And the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, has appealed to those behind various forms of propaganda against the Buhari administration to desist from such in the interests of national peace and security. Addressing leaders of Igbo residents from the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, the minister said such acts are misleading. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
69-year-old Eze Boniface Ibekwe is an Igbo trader from southeast Nigeria, residing in Kano, northwest Nigeria for more than 40 years. He's a member of the Kano State Traditional Council and in the payroll of the state government for decades.
We cannot live in isolation. Nigeria is a great country, and all of us will benefit from Nigeria more better than separation.
Eze Boniface and other Ezendibos drawn from across the country are concerned about Nigeria's unity and security.
Who are you separating with? The Hausa man, the Yoruba man, the Igbo man, the Gala man, the Gwari man. The same God that brought us together has a reason, a purpose for bringing us together.
The Igbos of Nigeria are Nigerians. We're indigenous to Nigeria. We will not support the breakup of Nigeria. We will not work for the breakup of Nigeria.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said there are two types of leaders in a democratic society, but President Muhammadu Buhari represents the non-partisan, non-religious, and non-tribal politician in Nigeria.
Infrastructure-wise, we have gotten our fair share. There's no maltreatment there. We are there in the Federal Executive Council. And the Federal Executive Council is composed of ministers, one per state. President Buhari gave us 6, 1 extra. But much more importantly, the propaganda against this government by the elites in the southeast should stop.
The meeting hoped to calm nerves and send a strong message of peace and harmonious relationship so that the likes of Eze Boniface and Eze Ogbonna will continue to pursue and sustain their means of livelihoods in peace in Kano and Maiduguri. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention now to Democracy Day celebration, and as part of activities to mark the day, the coalition of civil society groups, South-South, has pledged its solidarity and support for continued dialogue towards entrenching peaceful coexistence in the country. Nkiru Onyejeshi reports that it also pledged its support to security agencies in their fight against insecurity during a peace walk staged in Port Harcourt.
Protests, which started from Isaac Borough Park to the Department of the State Services, DSS, and ended at the police headquarters in Port Harcourt, was aimed at supporting the state security agencies and the federal government in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria and ensure peace returns to the country.
We are here to declare our solidarity and support to the continued existence of Nigeria and to the sovereignty of Nigeria, the Nigerian state. The South-South people under this platform have come to also declare solidarity with the Nigerian security agency, especially the police.
And also believe that Nigeria can only be great if we remain united.
The Commissioner of Police, CP Ebuka Friday, appreciated the group for the show of support, notwithstanding the situation in the country.
I'm pleased because oftentimes it is hard for people to identify with the police force, even when they are doing the right thing. During the NSAS period where policemen were killed, only very few people identified with us. Recently too, we lost about 11 police officers. There's only you people who are trying to identify with us. I'm very happy with this your movement today.
The coalition of civil society groups drawn from the South-South include Civil Liberty Group, Human Rights Group, Community-Based Organization, among others. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onyejeshi, NTA News.
And a cross-section of people across the globe have canvassed more inclusion and participation of Nigerians in the diaspora in the democratic process in Nigeria. Now, this was a major highlight of a 2-hour webinar facilitated by the Nigeria-American Public Affairs Committee, NAPAC, and Nigerian think tank group, as well as the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, NITCOM. Now, a statement by the head of media at the commission, Abdulrahman Balogun, indicates that a former British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Oakright, used the opportunity of the webinar to challenge Nigeria to engage in reforms such as reducing the cost of governance and involving more women and youth in the democratic process. Chairman and CEO of Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, on her part, says the Commission will intensify diaspora engagement and urge Nigerians living abroad to always speak well about the country and join hands with government in the task of development. Some diasporans also made useful contributions at the webinar. As the popular playwright and poet William Shakespeare would say, the problem with Nigerians is not in our stars, but in ourselves. Now, this resonates with the Catholic Bishop of Jalingo Diocese, Most Reverend Charles Michael Hamawa. He maintains that the problem of Nigeria is not in Nigeria itself, but in Nigerians, and it is in this regard that he advocates attitudinal change and fear of God as the basic things needed to overcome all challenges. And our correspondent Adamu Haruna Adams reports.
The Youth Summit brought together young people from nooks and crannies of Taraba State. The summit, which had as theme Youth's Concerns in Politics and Society, aimed at raising consciousness of the young people regarding their critical roles in the schemes of affairs and the need for them to shun all forms of vices. Catholic Bishop Jalingo Diocese, Most Reverend Charles Hamawa, admonishes Nigerians to fear God, have a change of attitude.
So if our heart is correct, if our mind is correct, we will do the correct thing. Let's have a better heart towards one another and towards things in general.
Bishop maintains that Nigeria is better as one united, indivisible entity.
Let's keep Nigeria one, no matter the complaints we have. It's good, yes, to cry out aloud about your rights, not to be marginalized, not to be denied what belongs to you. Yes, it's good to do that, but I don't think the solution is automatically breaking away. We have the example of Southern Sudan just fresh before us. So once again, back to the question of getting it right from here.
Some stakeholders also urge Nigerian youth not to let themselves become tools for those who do not mean well for the country. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
And as the country celebrates 22 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos has urged political office holders to leverage the ideals of June 12 struggle to ensure citizens enjoy more gains of democracy. Now, this is while answering questions from State House correspondents on June 12 and Democracy Day in Lagos, and Musa Toliat was there.
Sanwo-Olu said political office holders must reflect on the ideals of democracy, which makes it imperative for them to put the people first. He stressed that the nation's democracy can be better strengthened when the rule of law is guaranteed and practiced to the letter.
We're going through, a constitutional reform. Let that reform, let that changes, let that amendment that will be coming out, let it be true representation and reflection of what an ordinary citizen wants.
Sanwo-Olu, however, lauded the selflessness and ultimate sacrifice paid by the presumed winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, MKO Abiola, to ensure that democracy is birthed in Nigeria.
It's also a day to remember, as a day where our democracy was challenged, but we've all been able to come together and realize that there's no alternative to democracy.
The governor urged public office holders to stay true to their oath of office with a view to delivering dividends of democracy to the citizens of the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari warmly felicitates with former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, on his 79th birthday. The president joins family and friends to celebrate the iconic leader whose legacy of setting the country on the path of democracy and good governance continues to yield results. Congratulating General Abubakar for another age, President Buhari appreciates his patriotism and visionary leadership style that advocates unity, projects maturity and wisdom on national discourse, and provides a rallying point for the future of the country. The president notes the goodwill that the former head of state attracts to the country, both at national and international levels, working for the growth of Nigeria, and praised the Almighty God to increase his wisdom, strength, and give him longer life to keep serving the country. And also, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, felicitates with former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, on the occasion of his 79th birthday. Now, Senator Lawan rejoices with the family, friends, and well-wishers of the elder statesman, whose uncommon statesmanship and patriotism, he says, will be evergreen for Nigerians, especially his commitment to the birth of Nigeria's fourth Republic. Lawan prays to Allah to grant the general many more years in good health so that he can continue his selfless service to his fatherland. And next on the news tonight will be sports update, and Tamara Ibiwe is right here with me. Tamara, good to see you. Do we have any more update on Christian Eric